Kia ora, konnichiwa. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Pennie and I'm a New Zealander living in Japan, studying Japanese and also studying for my degree of applied management, majoring in occupational health and safety. Today's video is kind of like a personal one, and I wanted to share with you my weight loss journey. So that's a trigger warning. So anyone who doesn't want to listen about weight loss journeys, this is my weight loss journey. Why I chose Thailand and what it's like trying to change my lifestyle while living in Japan. So let's go back. My journey didn't start in October 2024. It started way back. I've tried so many different diets. Cutting carbs, counting calories, shakes, fasting, and starting everything again from Monday. And I'd lose a little, but then after I'd stopped or broke the diet, I'd put it all back on plus more. So my weight didn't decrease over the years, it's just started to balloon out of control. And over time, it just wears you down. It affects your confidence, your energy levels, and just even how I saw myself. By the time 2024 came round, I knew I had to do something completely different. And this time I thought, it's not another diet, not another fad. I really had to battle the issues that I was having. That's when I decided to look at the options of bariatric surgery, and I looked for quite some time, different countries, looking at different reviews, and this is when I came across Destination Beauty. A lot of the reviews were good, and when looking at reviews, it's not always looking at the 5-star tinted roses. I wanted to see what issues they were having and how they actually overcame the issues. So I was actually pleasantly surprised that there wasn't too many bad reports. The information that I received, that the nurses seemed extremely kind. It was a lot different from having it in your own country. It really was a lot cheaper as well. I'm going to be honest, it wasn't an easy decision. There's a lot of judgment about having surgery the easy way out. Well, let me tell you, it's not the easy way out. It's a tool, and it doesn't change your mentality, how you think about food. And you know, that's an ongoing struggle. You really have to step back and thinking food is the centre of your universe rather than something to fuel your body to keep moving, and looking at what you're putting in your body as well. So after the surgery, everything changed. My portion size became tiny, and my relationship with food had to actually have a complete reset. Suddenly, food became not a comfort anymore to me. It became something I had to think about very carefully. Portion sizes, what I chose to eat, listening to my body. That took a few weeks, or even still, sometimes I do struggle if I eat too much. It sounds simple, but it's very hard. The portion sizes are small, and you have to really be aware of how much you are eating, so then you don't start that slippery slope of eating too much and expanding your stomach. You go through a lot to have this bariatric surgery, and you really do need to use it as a good tool to help lose weight and to keep that weight off. Another reason why I chose bariatric surgery was I'm diabetic, and I really wanted to, as much as possible, get rid of the diabetes and all the medications that come with it. And there are a few tablets that I had to take. I have reduced those, but I still take diabetic medicine because when I eat still, it does affect my sugar levels. Not as much as they used to, but they still do affect my sugar levels. So here's where it gets actually harder. Living in Japan, because Japan seems it's got a carb culture. Rice, bread, soba noodles, ramen. So you go to a convenience store and there's lots of rice. Go to a restaurant, rice. And even breakfast, rice. luckily there was a subscriber who actually gave me the saying to tell people gohan nashi, which means no rice please. And that's when I just use that all the time. Sometimes I get some strange looks if I have a curry. They say, gohan nashi? And I said, yes, gohan nashi. But it's better than wasting food. I've also brought a container that I take with me sometimes if I go out, and then I put my leftovers in my container because I know it's rude to leave food. Sometimes it's such lovely food and I don't want to waste it, so I can eat it actually later on. I did do takeaways to get the food to go, but I do like the culture of eating in a restaurant and just being amongst the community and hearing Japanese talking, because otherwise if I'm at home I'm not having any chance of having a conversation with anybody. Sometimes it feels a bit strange, but it's me and it's how I'm doing my journey. As long as it's not affecting other people in a negative way, then that's what I'm doing. You know, it is hard to live in a country where a big part of the culture is rice, and you kind of feel you're consistently against it. Right, now I've got to go to the hospital now for some appointments, so I'll carry on this video in the hostel a bit later on. So catch you later. This is the view from my hospital bedroom. Amazing. Just a mixture of older houses in front of us and then going into the city, all those huge high rises. So welcome back. This is the second part of the video. I've been into hospital, I've had some tests done, and now I've been taken to a room just to wait. I'm going to get a consultation with the doctor. I've had some blood taken and they just want to do a couple more tests, but yeah, everything's going really well so far. Really happy with the service. Going back to the bariatric surgery and my weight loss journey, one of the biggest challenges actually hasn't been physical. It's been the mental side of weight loss journey, because even after surgery you still want to eat your favourite foods. The old habits, the old thoughts, they just don't disappear. Well, I still had cravings, also like emotional triggers. When I first had my operation, the cravings weren't there. You know, they slowly come in after about 6 months of having a gastric sleeve. You start thinking, oh, maybe I might just try a cake, you know, and I did that, and it certainly told me that wasn't a good idea. You know, sometimes if I eat something that I shouldn't, I do have to go lie down for a while. I feel really, really unwell. Just was shaking and just feeling very, very sick. There's good days and there's bad days, and it's going with the flow and not beating yourself up. I had this operation as a tool to help me lose weight and to stop overeating, because that's where I felt that I'd eat too much, or I'd eat too much too often. I'd think, oh, I'll just have this cake, you know, and drink as well. So I stopped drinking alcohol after my bariatric surgery. I haven't had a drink since then, so it has been a year and a half. You know, I don't miss it. I think on a hot day sometimes I crave a beer, but not enough to tempt me to have one, not yet. The directions or the instructions after surgery was don't drink alcohol, so I haven't. I know there are people out there who do drink alcohol. You know, really it's a personal preference. I found I was drinking too much and it was just all that sugar, and that's why I stopped. And it did help. I drink water. I do drink vitamin C drinks, and they have got a bit of sugar in them, which is a little bit disappointing because that does affect my diabetes and it does shoot up my glucose. There's days that I'm proud of myself, how well I've done, and then there's days where I think, you know, I shouldn't have done that. And it's whether you can learn from your experiences and move on and just try not to do that again. But if it happens, I'm not going to beat myself up. You know, we're here to enjoy life really, and even if you don't have much to enjoy, there are little moments that are good. I went to a shop and bought some new trousers because my trousers were getting too big, and it was like I fit a size L, you know, and that was such a thrill, especially in Japan, because L size is probably more like a 14. You know, just small steps like that, because sometimes I still feel that I'm still large and I don't see myself as being thinner. And it's sometimes I look, when I'm video editing, I look and I think, crikey, yes, I do look different. And I look back on my old photos and yes, I do look different. And my daughter is so supportive as well. And she's just there as a rock, really. And even all my subscribers, you really have helped me tremendously. You sometimes you just don't realise, even with a comment, it's just lovely. It really is lovely, and I read them all, and I try and reply to them all. So yeah, thank you for that. If you're watching this and you're struggling too, I want you to know something. You're not failing. It's hard, and it's okay to admit that you've had bariatric surgery. Whether it's surgery, whether it's a diet, you just take one step at a time. And it's not the hare that wins the race, it's the tortoise. It's slow and steady and quick fixes that you see advertised on TV. I've tried some of them and they haven't worked for me. This is my personal journey. Sometimes it does help and work for other people. I found that drinking the protein shakes was horrible. I hated them. I couldn't drink them. It'd make me feel quite woozy and sick just because I didn't like the texture. So that didn't work. Yeah, cutting calories. That did help, but it's that appetite that you have to stop. The portion sizes, I think, is the key. When you're used to having huge portion sizes, it's very hard to go from huge to small because you eat it, then it's like, what else is there? So, yeah, this journey has been quite a challenge, and I'm glad that I've done it. I used Destination Beauty, and I was concerned to start with, but then when I was looking around, they did so many, I just put my trust in them. And this is why I've come back for a facelift. I do need to have some skin removal surgery. I've got kind of really baggy arms, but that can wait. I can wear longer sleeves. I will kind of save up money for other bits of my body if I feel that I want to carry on with this. I've met some amazing people here. They've had a group of ladies who met last year or the year before, and they've come back to meet again and have more surgery. So it's like a girls' holiday. So yeah, I thought that's actually quite a good idea. Have a girls' holiday and get some cosmetic surgery done at the same time. So yeah, maybe we should start a cosmetic surgery kind of group who wants to get some cosmetic surgery and meet up in Thailand. Yeah. I did look at going to Korea, but just with the after surgery care, I felt like I wanted a little bit more support. There, I think you have your surgery and then you usually go like the next day or a few hours later. This one, you stay in hospital for a couple of days, and they do tend to look after you a bit more, I think. I don't know exactly what goes down in Korea. I just chose Thailand because I know them. I've dealt with the people before. I feel comfortable with them. So in all, I've lost 41 kilograms, and I still probably do have another 5 to 10 kilograms to lose, and that's just going to be kind of like a slow process, I think. I have to, get my steps up again. Just over the last couple of weeks, I haven't walked to school. I've taken the train. I've had so much on my mind that, I've just kind of not done as much walking as I should do. So that's not good. But yesterday, before we came into the hospital, we did go shopping and have a look at the mall, MBK. It's a real big mall in Thailand. Yeah, we walked about 13,000 steps in there. Big mall, lots of things to buy, a lot of the same shops, very touristy. It's a lot of, tourist shops, really. So you can buy souvenirs, electronics, clothing. So, it's got it all, and there's restaurants there as well. We did find Pepper Lunch. So, of course, we had to go into Pepper Lunch. It was nice to have a steak. Sorry for those vegetarians out there. But, it was really quite good. So thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if you've got any questions. Okay, see ya.